Hi again. Welcome back to another day. It's the last day of the week. It's January 15th. And I thought that it would be kind of timely because on Monday, the 18th, is Martin Luther King Day. And we have no school that day. So my book today is about Martin Luther King Jr. And this book won a Caldecott Award and also a New York Times Best Illustrated Book, children's book several years ago. So this is kind of like a biography. It's going to give us some history, some information about Dr. Martin Luther King. It's actually, the title of this is Martin's Big Words, The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So we've kind of been talking about those fix-up strategies. There might be some concepts in this book that we might want to stop along the way and just think about and make sure we understand. So I will do that if I see a need for that, or if you think of something that maybe you don't understand. Here we go. Martin's big words. Everywhere in Martin's hometown, he saw the signs, white only. His mother said these signs were in all southern cities and towns in the United States. Every time Martin read the words, he felt bad. Until he remembered what his mother told him. You are as good as anyone. In church, Martin sang hymns. He read from the Bible. He listened to his father preach. These words made him feel good. When I grow up, I'm going to get big words too. So think about that. What he's really meaning when saying big words, he's kind of looking up to his father and wanting to use words like his father would use, better vocabulary and things like that. Martin grew up. He became a minister like his father, and he used the big words he had heard as a child from his parents and from the Bible. Everyone can be great. He studied the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi. He learned how the Indian nation won freedom without ever firing a gun. Martin said love when others said hate. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. He said together when others said separate. He said peace when others said war. Sooner or later, all the people of the world will have to discover a way to live together. And as I look at this page, I see quotation marks around this sentence. And that means that is something that Martin Luther King actually said. It's a quote from him. In 1955, on a cold December day in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks was coming home from work. A white man told her to get up from her seat on the bus so he could sit. She said no and was arrested. Montgomery's black citizens learned of her arrest. It made them angry. They decided not to ride the buses until they could sit anywhere they wanted. For 381 days, they walked to work and school and church. They walked in rain and cold and in blistering heat. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them until the white city leaders had to agree they could sit anywhere they wanted. And he says, when the history books are written, someone will say there lived black people who had the courage to stand up for their rights. In the next 10 years, Black Americans all over the South protested for equal rights. Martin walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. White ministers told them to stop. Mayors and governors and police chiefs and judges ordered them to stop. But they kept on marching. Wait! For years I have heard the word wait. We have waited more than 340 years for our rights. They were jailed and beaten and murdered, but they kept on marching. Some Black Americans wanted to fight back with their fists. Martin convinced them not to by reminding them of the power of love. Love is the key to the problems of the world. Many white Southerners hated and feared Martin's words. A few threatened to kill him and his family. His house was bombed. His brother's house was bombed. But he refused to stop. Remember, if I am stopped, this movement will not be stopped because God is with this movement. The marches continued. More and more Americans listened to Martin's words. He shared his dreams and filled them with hope. I have a dream that one day in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. After 10 years of protests, the lawmakers in Washington voted to end segregation. The white-only signs in the South came down. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. cared about all Americans. He cared about people all over the world, and people all over the world admired him. In 1964, he won the Nobel Peace Prize. He won it because he taught others to fight with words, not fists. Think about that for a minute. Martin went wherever people needed help. In April 1968, he went to Memphis, Tennessee. He went to help garbage collectors who were on strike. What does that mean, on strike? Do you know that word? I looked that up, and that's when if people who are kind of upset with their job, they protest and they might march and refuse to work until their needs have been listened to and met. So that's what it means to go on strike, and that's what Martin was kind of helping them get through. He walked with them and talked with them and sang with them and prayed with them. On his second day there, he was shot. He died. His big words are alive for us today. Freedom, peace, together, I have a dream, love. And at the end of this book is kind of like a timeline. That would be like a text feature to this book where you can kind of see all of the important dates in his life from his birth, January 15th, which is actually today, down to January 15th, 1986, when his birthday became a national holiday for the first time, and all of the events kind of in between. So that's an important text feature of this book. That's the end of this book, Martin's Big Words. We stopped a little bit along the way and discussed a couple of things that might have been a little bit confusing or tricky, just to kind of help us make sure we understood. And that is the end of our read alouds for this week. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you back here next week.